Good morning, Madam and Mr. Jury. Today I would like to, as the first speaker of the government side, I would like to bring upon the motion, this House supports a permanent move to online tertiary education. Before I start my speech, I would like to make a brief introduction of myself. Hello, my name is Yoshinobu Shimba and from the school SCCAD PPE, and I will be representing the first speaker of the government side with the motion, this House supports a permanent move to online tertiary education. Currently, in today's day and age, the 21st century, education is often referred to as a stepping stool or something that boosts a student to reaching a brighter future. And that is obviously not false. A lot of education will be really useful in global scale, as a lot of the things that happen in the real world will be based on the knowledge that you gain from formal institutions like schools and universities. Now, in this, and as we do know, I already mentioned that education is more or less a stepping stool, you could say. But I would like to ask you this. What would happen if that stool is wobbly, frail, or even non-existent, unable to be accessed by the majority of people? Now that is the main problems with the current tertiary education, or the situation with education currently. So in the motion, I would like to talk about a few things. There are a few keywords that we need to define first, such as support, permanent, and online tertiary education. So I would like to first start with online tertiary education. Online tertiary education can be broken into two words, such as online and tertiary education. Tertiary education is another name for the education that you receive after you finish your secondary education, that is basically another word for high school. So meaning that tertiary education is basically universities or institutions that you receive more formal education to prepare yourself for a better future. Online is the act of using digital devices or devices that allow you to share information across large, vast distances. I mean, like such as Zoom and Gmeet. Having online classes is a part of online as well, since we can already see there's the word online in it. Now, support is the act of helping the effort of digitalizing tertiary education, meaning that you will, the citizens, will support. In this case, supporting is the helping the effort of digitalizing tertiary education, meaning that the citizens can help maybe in funding the efforts into developing more practical websites, or are even developing facilities to increase Wi-Fi speeds, even perhaps, and perhaps even sharing the benefits of having a online tertiary education. Now, the last word I would like to touch up on is permanent. Permanent meaning that we won't be able to revert it back directly to the offline scenes of tertiary education, meaning that if we were to consider this, if this motion were to be enacted, that means that online tertiary education will take a hold over all tertiary educations, meaning that there will no longer be a need for campuses or buildings that facilitate these tertiary educations. So I would like to now move on to the points I have. So first of all, instead of using technology to digitalize online tertiary education, we will remove the physical limitations of having to travel a long distance. Now, there are a lot of universities in Indonesia that do not have the public transport or facilities to allow students from vast distances to come into their universities. The only instance I have known about is UI, which is the University of Indonesia, perhaps one of the most prestigious universities in the country, and they are the only ones that have a dedicated train station and a dedicated bus stop, to my knowledge. Now that is a major problem, as consider this, a student that has just finished high school and are looking for a potential university they want to go to. They choose a university that's really far away from where they live, but they really like the professors that teach there and the prestige that it offers. Now, it is really far away, so the student will have to consider that the traveling cost. And what happens if this traveling cost is very high? they can't afford it. So that means that the student will have to find either another way to get there, or to find or opt for a less prestigious university that will offer cheaper prices. Now that is obviously not a really good choice for the student at hand, since it means that they are willingly giving up their future just because they can't get to that university. So by digitalizing by digitalizing tertiary education, they will be able to access they'll be able to access tertiary education from anywhere anywhere in the country or in the world. Secondly, of online and tertiary education, there comes a benefit of reducing the amount of land used. Now, currently, land use is a major problem as well in the country, since we do not have infinite amount of spaces. That's why, by repurposing the lands and campuses, the lands of campus and universities, we can repurpose them into much more productive things. You can say like agricultural use, development, housing, reforestation and conservation efforts, and maybe even more. This will obviously will cut down on the costs on the overall campus, because the campus will no longer need to worry about a few things that they need to manage, like electrical bills or land rent or even maintenance fees. So that is why online tertiary education, that is what online tertiary education can bring to the table when it comes to offline tertiary education. Now, I would like to. There are a few things that my opponent might bring up, such as what of exchange programs. What about students that are trying to perhaps even get an experience of what it feels like to be in another country, or getting the education or something of another country, since another country might have a better system compared to the one that's found in Indonesia. Now, online tertiary education makes it much more easier, since you do not have to actually consider tickets to flying to that country instead. You can just have a meeting with the teachers or professors from that university, and you can just attend that meeting, and that will make the process much more easier. Secondly, there is also the lack of social life. Now, this is a major issue that might come with the digitalization of everything, since during the pandemic, online social life was basically non-existent. Now that I would like to move on to my mechanics. In order to apply this motion into reality, there are a few things that we need to include, such as how will we touch up on social life? Now, social life can be managed with a few. There are lots of sites where students can recreate and connect to other students, even though they do not need a physical media, and even though online tertiary education will take place online, it does not mean that clubs and groups will have to take place online as well. They can still be offline in rented places. And that, I would like to rest my case. I'm glad to present to you the motion. This House supports a permanent move to online tertiary education. Thank you for your time.